Hello everyone, Sagar this side. I'm your instructor for this batch. Please confirm me if I'm audible and if you guys can see my screen. Okay. So anyone who is joining for the very first time and who was not part of my first demo class, which I took on Jan 8th. So I conducted one free session. Okay. So anyone who was part of it. Okay. Okay. Okay, I see there are some few guys who are joining for the very first time. So what I will do is I'll just go with some basic recap so that you guys don't miss out today's session. Okay, and then we will proceed with the further topic so that those who had joined, they don't feel that it's a continuation or it's a repetition. Okay. Uh, so if you guys want to unmute yourself, or if you guys want to answer something, there is a button, or there is a the raise hand symbol which you need to click, and then you can you can unmute yourself and you can ask your doubt, or whatsoever you want to clear in this class. Okay, but as usual, my first question is, what are the daily network challenges that we see in the network production, and what are your thoughts about it, or why do you think network automation is required, or what you expect to do from network automation? So I need some pointers from you guys. Okay, since you have guys joined the Python automation, so basically you might have some ideas, or you might want to see, or want to automate something. So I want to know what is that you want to what the challenge you're facing and you are planning to automate. So anyone who wants to yeah, I can see Sanchayan. So yeah, Sanchayan, you can unmute yourself.
Maybe we can automate the daily task. Suppose we are regularly we are configuring an access switch with the same VLANs always. Like in my company, we have a dedicated user VLAN. Every time we don't need to jump to the switch and configure those, so we can automate those tasks.
Okay, so I'm gonna say configuration. There are some answers put up in the chat as well. Backups, uh, configs, I have already said. Might be updating the softwares. Okay, so if you are from a firewall background, then might be you want to add policy or modify the policy rules, right? Let's say, yeah, firmware update, I can put it here itself. Any other thoughts, any other ideas? Have you guys been asked to take some report or something, report preparation, like you log into device and fetch the serial number of it, see what current iOS version is it running at, what's the CPU consumption going on across that device, and then you make some Excel with tables and you produce it to the management, right? So how if we can do a automation and get the required data, and we have a full-fledged Excel which we are ready to email someone, or push it to someone, right? So again, report preparation. What other things that we can do it, or you think we should do it? How about the monitoring tools? How about you automate a monitoring tool so that it can do some basic troubleshooting, or it can create some ticket, log some ticket, might be with the ISP. or it can let you know which BGP neighbor went down, okay, or which let's say some OSPF neighbor went down, or there is some issue. So it gives some sort of automation, right? So how about doing some monitoring automation using Python or any of the network automation tool, right? What about other things? Have you thought about uh, the SDN technologies or the next generation firewalls that has the graphical interface? How about you want to fetch a inventory? You want to upload my couple of certificates. You want to onboard the data devices, right? You want to fetch or you want to upgrade the iOS, right? So there are a lot of other ways for you guys to think about automation. Yeah, Abhishek, you should have the unmute button now.
Yeah, now I'm having. Let's say like if you want to clear counters on particular interface, can we do that automation?
Yeah, you can do.
Yeah,
You
without
can
logging
do.
into the device, if you want to run in a script and clear the counters.
Yes, you can do clear counters without logging to any boxes. Okay, that is the uh, that's the important key factor, that we don't log into any box when we do a automation. We never
Hmm.
log into a box manually.
Yes, correct.
Okay, everything is done from the script point of view. So today we will see how the communication happens and all. You might be wondering how without we humans logging to any box, how would we automate, or how is the clear counter happening. All those things we will see today. Okay, but these are some general things or some general challenges which we think about automation. I've prepared it in a very better way also, and I went through each point in the last demo. So if you guys have not watched it, you can definitely check it on our YouTube channel, Network Journey. So we had 2 hours of demo session. You guys can take it from here. This is our channel, and this was the link. If you want,
Hmm.
I'll give you the link of this. So someone who is joining for the first time, those who were already present, then you were all part of this. So okay.
And even if you want to like bounce any ports which are in the error disable, yeah, I know like we can do the automation, but I just wanted to know how we can write the script to bounce the port and to check the status of on the switch, like is there any interfaces in error disabled.
Yes. So everything can be done over on automation. Okay.
Uh,
So the
and
bouncing, the
also,
reload, the fetch of show command, configurations, boot variable change, DHCP configuration, everything can be doable via Python automation.
okay, even we can do that iOS upgrade as well, right?
Yeah, yes, we can do that. Okay. So I'm
And
just
like one last question, like if you want to see the like whenever in Cisco switches, we used to, if you want to see any spanning tree topology change, we used to log into switch and we used to run the command show spanning tree detail change pipeline include RSTP from. So we
Mhm.
can do that one also, right?
Yeah. So whatever you do on your Cisco box, everything is replicable over on the automation.
Okay.
Okay. You might be wondering how, but you will understand once we start with our curriculum and the syllabus.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Thanks,
before
sir.
we get started with something, I'll just show you some couple of the things or couple of things how these automation or how where is this Python installed and all. So say for example, you guys got computer, and let's say this is one enterprise, and over here you have let me use some, let's say you have routers, firewalls, routers, switch. okay, or some servers, any networking devices. Okay, and let's assume that usually how it works is, let's say this is in Sydney. This is in Sydney, and let's say you are somewhere in India. You are a remote engineer. So how do you log into the devices? Over on SSH, right? You do the necessary SSH, and then you take the access of these devices from your machine. There should be a VPN reachability, or there should be a basic reachability to the devices. In some enterprises, you will also see you log into their jump host server or Bastion server or jump host. And then from there, you initiate the SSH connection. So basically, SSH is the protocol which is used, right? Apart from HSS, there is something called Telnet, port number 23, but we do not use this because these are gonna carry the plain text traffic or data, whereas this is encrypted data traffic. So most of the time you will see, as a network engineer, you go to the console, SSH admin 1.1.1 password, you get the prompt of Cisco device, you do show commands, you configure something, and then you close the connection and come out of it, right? Now this whole thing will be automated by writing some scripts. Okay, so where is your script written? Your script is written here. So you will install necessary platforms. We are going to discuss what platforms you need it. So let me call it as software or some ID, integrated development environment. So you need to have some required platform. You will install all the programming language like Python, some of its module or library. You will code your script, and then you will run the script. When you run the script, basically the programming language is instructing the computer that take a SSH to this device on behalf of this user. So user who is sitting in front of this computer and who is executing the script is just gonna execute the script. He's not gonna type SSH or 1.1. He's just gonna uh, execute it. There is an option like run. You will see this option on your software, the software which you're gonna install. Okay, so when you click on that run, whatever code you have written, basically that is making the computer to action. Your computer will act, start to action. Let's say in your script you mentioned something to do, something to do with some devices, right? So you would have written that inside your script, take SSH of 1.1.1.1 and 2.2.2.2. Once you're logged in successfully, then take the output of show IP int brief. Now what happens? You will just click on run button and sit in front of your computer. The program will instruct the computer, take SSH of 1.1.1, log into that, take show IP int brief, put it back to the user so he can check that. Now it will go to the second device, 2.2.2. It will do the following login credential check. It will run show IP in brief. The output is back to you. So your computer is just acting as a proxy machine. Okay. Who is instructing? The program that you're going to write, the programming language that you're going to use, that is instructing the computer. And this is how the automation works. You don't manually do a SSH. You manually don't run any show command. It's all written inside your script. You just click on that run button and the computer will be instructed to do what's been put up in that script. So you got a brief idea on how automation would be conducted.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the more we go practically, you will understand. Okay, I will in few minutes I'll tell you what all software, what all other things that you need to, completely build this on your home lab and you can start practicing. So let's say you guys are building your own home lab setup. But remember, those guys are enrolled to this curriculum of 2 months. You guys will get the support from our backend engineers. They will help you on setting up everything. But someone who is attending this as a free watch, then for you guys, I'm just writing it down step by step. Also, this is helpful for someone who is enrolled with us, but then he wants to know how is this whole thing being set up. Okay. So first thing you need to have is required softwares. Okay. And you need to have, you need to decide which module or library you want to use. Then you also need to have some test environment like networking devices. So either you buy a new device or new piece of devices from eBay or Amazon, or you can virtualize all these things. If you go with virtualization, you need some emulators. Okay, this is the virtual solution. If you want to go with the physical box, then eBay is your friend. You can take some, you can buy some used product from eBay and you're good to start up. So here under software section, we need software like the computer programming language. So Python is what we will be using. This is our primary programming language. Now, Python is just a programming language. Where would you write code, debug, test, compile? Where would you do that? You need an environment to do that. Okay. And we will use something called as IDE, Integrated Development Environment. So for IDE, there are a couple of examples or softwares here. You might have heard Microsoft Visual Studio, okay, or PyCharm, or Atom, okay, or Eclipse. These are all softwares. These are free versions as well. There are paid version as well. There is a community version as well. You can just go and search over on Google how to download PyCharm. You'll get the download link. You can download, install it on your machine. Okay. So from software point of view, we need Python and PyCharm. Now time to decide which library to be opted. So for example, you have the smartphone. Okay. You have the smartphone. You have decided to go with Android. Now you need to decide which launcher you want to go with. Do you want to go with that basic default launcher that Android offers? You can go with some Nova launcher or one launcher. There are a couple of launchers. So you decide as per your user interface or the speed that it needs, or speed the animation, the graphics, right? So on basis of that, you decide which launchers to go with, right? This is just an example. Similar way, let's say automobile. When you go automobile, you see whether you go with a diesel variant or a petrol variant. Then you try to see whether you will go with a mid segment or the low segment or a higher segment, right? So there will be 2 to 3 different categories or criterias that you go with. So here in automation, you have decided to go with Python. There are alternatives here. There are tough competitor now. You have options like Ansible, Chef, Puppet. There are a couple of different alternatives as well. But let's say I am deciding to go with Python because I know it's a user friendly, it's a lightweight, it's the programming language which is used by 80% of company. So I'll prefer going with Python. I need a platform where I can start writing some code. Now I will decide which module to go with. on basis of, again, certain things like is that module good in terms of speed, does it support multi-vendor, because there are some libraries which can support 30 plus multi-vendors, Cisco, Junos, FI. I mean, you name it, it will support it. But there are some library which will not support it. It might support maximum 2 or 3 or 4. But now you might be wondering, why would someone take that 2 or 3, right? Might be it has some other feature which this plugin do not have it, or do not have it with it, right? So people uh, who are just with Cisco, now they have multiple options. They can go with, let's say, library 1 or library 2 or library 3. They have pretty much option, right? So I'm gonna give this, let's say, we have options like NetMiko or Paramiko or Nornia or NEPAM, okay, or PyNTC. There are a lot of libraries, but we need to select one of them. We don't need all of them. We need one of them which can do majority of the task. If something is not doable, then we go and leverage on another module. So we can also, keep 2 modules inside one script to get our job done. So it all depends. We will see using 2 modules or 3 modules as well to get some functionality done. Okay. And at the very end, from the required home lab setup components, you need to have the real device or a virtualized device, right? Like router, switch, firewall, where you can practice, or you can run the code. You can see whether the script is running fine, or script is fetching something or no, right? So you need some devices. So we will go with the virtual option. Virtualization we will go with. We have softwares like GNS3 or EVNG or Peanut Labs. Okay, so there are different options here where you can plug your router, switch, firewalls, or whatever, Nexus device. Okay, if you have required RAM resource and CPU, you can uh, also install SD-WAN also. It depends how much RAM and resource you have. But usually most of people might have 16 and 32 GB RAM on your laptop or on your server. You can at least go with router, switch, and firewall. So these are some basic components that you need to set up a home lab setup. You need Python, the one of the Python ID, like Microsoft Visual Studio or PyCharm, one of the module library, and the emulators. Okay, so now which of them is paid and which of them is gonna be paid version? So this is free, absolutely free. Python is a free programming language. You go to python.org, click on download button, and it's ready to download. This gets both paid and free version. Okay, we can leverage on free version itself, more than enough. We don't need a paid version, but if your company or enterprise is offering you paid, it's fine. You can take a paid version also, but free will do 100% whatever the paid is gonna do. Okay, so for us, free is sufficient. The module and library, once again, it's free of cost. Okay, that's the benefit of going with Python. There are a lot of full stack developer who have worked and contributed on the Python community. So say anyone can go take it up and use it on their scripting or on their enterprise. Now regarding the emulators, you know that this is gonna be the paid solution. Buying from eBay, you definitely need to pay the money to buy the rack or the devices. But if you think this one, it can be completely free, because these softwares are absolutely free. Okay, GNS, EVNG, PNet, these are all free to download. What about these images? So let's say if you are a Cisco employee, you can get most of the softwares from Cisco Software Center, or if let's say you have the Cisco contract or Cisco platinum partner, then also you can go to the Cisco Software Center and download a lot of them. The other images, like let's say you wanted to test F5 or Palo Alto or Checkpoint, so few of them you can just register as a free account, download them, and you can install it either on EVNG or GNS or PNetLab, and then the images are ready with you to automate and test the features, whether your script is running. If you want to bring up a feature inside your script to clear the counter, you want to add some more features like STP, spanning tree, or whatever you want to do, you will do it on your script part, and then you have the device on the end side to test these code. Okay, so as I was talking about the placement. Okay, so out of these numbers 1 2 3, so the number 1, Python, that's gonna go and get installed on your computer or laptop. The second point, which was the IDE, which I said, let's go with PyCharm or Microsoft Visual Studio, that's also gonna get installed on your computer. Okay. What was the third point? Emulators. Now, emulators, you will install on your machine or on your servers. Okay. Let's say the server is kept here. Okay, some server, some Dell server or something, you can install some hypervisor and you can install your emulators over here. Okay, like GNS or something. Now let's say these are all kept at 192.168.1.100/24, and your computer is also on the same subnet. Okay, so now your computer has reachability to all those devices that you're gonna put inside your emulators, like router. Let's say router gets an IP of 192.168.1.101/24. Your switch gets an IP of 192.168.1.101/24. Your firewall has an IP of 192.168.1.102/24, right? So now the computer has reachability to all these devices. You can test with simple SSH first between the computer and the devices. You can just do a simple SSH to the box 192.168.1.101. You can see whether you get the prompt to enter your username and password. Okay. Once it's all good, the manual method is all good. Now what you can do is you can start building your script. You can start writing your script here, and you can instruct the script in such a way that the computers take SSH on behalf of you in an automated way to these boxes and do whatever is being asked to do in the script. Okay. So any doubt with the setup? Anything which you didn't get? See, there is a option to raise hand. You can just raise your hand, and there's option to unmute then.
Sagar, I have one question, Abhishek here.
Mhm.
So is it Python and PyCharm, like IDE, both are different software, or it will be built inside Python itself?
These are two different things, but once you install IDE will be sourced to this Python software. Okay, see how it works is Python is a different software or programming thing, and then you install your IDE, right, which is called as PyCharm. So basically, just IDE is not sufficient. There should be interconnection between these two as well, Python and IDE. Your
Uh-huh.
IDE will scan your computer and then it will detect which programming language did you install in your computer. And then you can see that ID showing that it's your Python 3.8 or 3.9, which is installed in your machine. So basically, IDE require that programming language as well. Okay, but when you install it, you will install these two different software. This will be your PyCharm or Microsoft Visual Studio, which is a different software, and Python is a different software. But later on, IDE will scan your laptop and fetch this programming, and it will take that as a reference to write the or build this script. Okay, it will
Okay,
act as a
because
compiler.
I had a confusion because like we are writing script on the IDE, right? So I was like, why we need Python whenever we are writing programming
See,
on
when you
IDE?
install IDE, there will be no programming language within IDE because IDE is independent of any programming language. Let's say you don't want Python, you wanted C or C++ or Java, right? So IDE will not come with any pre-installed programming language. We have to decide which programming language we want to go with.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Right, there are a lot of, there's a huge list of programming language, right? Java, C, C++, Golang, Python, Ansible. There are a lot of things, right? So it's up to we what we want to go with. So if I go with Python, I have to install Python, and then I will have to uh, uh, then I go to ID, and then I say this is my compiler on which I want to write the program. I
Okay,
see
I got
I see more guys lifting their hand. So yes, so if you have any doubt, please let me know.
Sagar, this is Srini.
Yeah,
Uh,
Srini, yes.
so, as you mentioned earlier, actually there are some specifications with 16 GB, something like that.
Yeah.
But what if that we don't have that specification, and are we going to get the remote thing? Or
Yes, I'll come to that. So see,
okay,
now in this meeting, there are two types of participant. One who is enrolled and one who is just watching it as a free demo, but later on they want to enroll to the batch. So those guys who are enrolled, you guys have two options to take. Either you can take our remote server access, or you can go with the home lab setup. So those guys wants to go with home lab setup, remember you should have minimum 16 GB with 4 CPU on your laptop or your server. Then you can prefer going with home lab setup. The advantage of home lab setup is it's unlimited access. That means once we set it up on your machine, it's gonna be lifetime on your machine itself. Whereas remote server, though it's a unlimited access only, but there is a validity of 3 months. Okay, so after 3 months, your accounts will get expired, uh, and then either you can increase your RAM and take the home lab setup and put it in your machine. Okay, and those guys who are just watching, you guys have to enroll to get into this bracket. Okay, so just write mail in order to contact our backend team and get the admission process. It's online training at @networkjourney.com. Our backend guys will give you all the details.
So this remote server access will be 24/7?
Yes. It will be 24/7.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I have 8 GB RAM on my laptop, so I asked.
With 8 GB, you can run 2 to 3 routers and one switch. Okay, when you try to increase more like 10 devices and all, then you will face the latency, slowness. Your laptop will be slow down.
Okay.
Okay. So there is one question. We will have certificate today. So guys, this is just a free watch today. There's no certificate to attend one class. But yes, those guys who are joining for 2 to 3 months of our batch, you guys will get the course completion certificate on basis of institute. Okay. And regarding certification, have you guys heard about Cisco DevNet 200901 by any chance?
Yes, we have heard.
Okay.
But is it like for automation, or is it for development, or like how it is, like Cisco DevNet? Like who will be doing this certification, Cisco DevNet?
So basically, one who is into automation developer, network automation developer, or if he's a network programmer. There is no other certification from Cisco yet, which is to the network development or network programming. Okay, so this is one certification. Cisco DevNet is one such certification which is now built or which is being announced from automating point of view. So there are three levels here: associate, professional, and the expert level.
So
Okay.
what all are the language we should know if you want to write this exam?
Okay, I'll come to that. So see, the first level is the CCNA level. This is CCNP level, and the final expert is the CCI level. Okay, CCI in DevNet thing. Okay, regarding the language, none of these certification demands to have a programming or the language knowledge. Okay, they recommend, or there are some topics like what is Python and Ansible, Chef, Puppet from the programming language. When you go towards the professional, you will see few more theory coming into picture. What is data structure, all those things. But again, not from advanced thing. And same goes with the CCI level. So none of these track demands you to be a professional in any programming language. These tracks consist of much other than only programming language. Okay, here you will get to know like what is DevOps, what is CI/CD pipeline, what are different frameworks in automation, okay, what are the security terms that you need to know while you automate, because when you start automating, there are chances your script has some loopholes. So what are those security terms, or how do you prevent your enterprise being uh, from a DOS attack or some vulnerable attack. So these are not purely structured in such a way that a candidate will, come out of with the advanced Python. He can start writing his own libraries. He can start. This certification is just to give the broader view of automation. Okay, so someone who will go to certification, they will just know just might be the theory part, or just what's happening, or only to that sort. He will not be able to uh, code something. He will never understand how to write end-to-end script to do a ARP testing or to fetch the BGP neighbor. He will never do, because this certification don't demand knowledge of writing script. At least the CCI 8 hours is still not known, because this is very brand new certificate. They just launched recently. But again, in that 8 hours, let's say they might come up with some script building. So that would be in your CCI level, not in your CCNA and the professional level. These are multi-question answer sort of paper. Okay, that is why our curriculum is created in such a way that you cover your DevNet from the certification, from your employer demanding you to be certified, but then learn much more than that so that you can start writing your own script. You can write your own script. You know how to uh, execute a script or how to write something. Okay, and also we will discuss Python theory, and there will be projects given so that you start writing and start coding. Okay, so this is how the curriculum is all structured for next 2 months. Yes, so any doubt?
Yeah, I have not doubt actually. So whenever they say like a network automation engineer profile, so yeah, every company will be having their own requirements. Like basically, what and all are the languages they used to prefer? Like if I want to become a network automation engineer.
Okay, so see, again, it depends on various thing. First thing is when someone is giving you a call to attend interview,
Hmm.
what is they running on their current organization? Are they running Python, or are they running Ansible, or are they running NSO, or are they running Chef? Are they running Puppet? There are, or are they running Java? Could be anything. If they're running Java as their main programming language, don't expect they ask you question on this. Okay,
Yeah.
they will expect you to have knowledge on Java. You have built some programs, or you know how to code it. So now they are looking for a core Java person as a candidate, right? So
Yes.
it depends on them what they are using at the moment when they are conducting the interview. But let's say they do not belong to any of the programming. They're a new company who wants to introduce some automation. Now they have options to go with either one of them. So they will go with Python. At least 70 to 80% chances are they will go with Python, because as I told you, the Python community is much wider. It's a lightweight program, easy to code. For example, something to get done in Java might take 100 lines. The same thing inside Python might take only 8 lines. Okay, and who is gonna do this? It's gonna be done by a network engineer. So as you know that network engineer already has scopes to learn CCNA, CCNP, CCI, might be firewalls, might be SDN, uh, a lot of things, right? Now, we cannot expect this person to be a professional in core Python or something. But what we will do is we will learn how to write programming by leveraging the modules that were developed by someone else. Okay, so as I told you, even in the previous scenario, we need Python, which is free to download, and libraries, which is free to download. Now, these libraries are hard coded in Python, which consists of thousands of lines. Someone has coded it and put up in the Python community. We just go take it out, write our 6 to 7 line of the code, and our script is ready. We can just automate whatever we want to do. So it's a very easy to learn. So someone from the network background can also learn this. So most of the time, people will go with Python as their automation tool. And now since let's say the company is into this, now questions would be like, what are dictionary? What do you mean by list? What do you understand by string? Can you write a program to automate the backup? Okay, how do you write a for loop? So these are some questions that you can expect in your interview question, especially from Python point of view, what I'm trying to say.
Okay, got it. So I just wanted to make sure, do we need to know cloud and HTML, CSS also for this network
No,
automation?
you don't need again again. See, HTML, CSS. Bootstrap, PHP. These are the web programming languages, okay, which the software engineers are expected to know. But the transition, I mean, the current industry is in such a way, let's say the network engineer who is automating something, okay, he is automating using Python and let's say one of the Microsoft Visual Studio or PyCharm over on the CLI method. Now your management will reach to you. They will, they will start giving some scenarios that our customers are unaware of the CLI process. Can you do some dashboard building? Now you as a network engineer who just went with the Python scripting, etc., etc. Now you have been asked to develop the dashboard. Now, how would you build some dashboard? You need to know some web programming language. Let's say you go with Flask or Django, okay, and let's say you build some good dashboard. Now any layman can also open that dashboard, can select some drop down, can say that VLAN equals to so and so, like the difference between a dashboard, a web dashboard, and something typing manually as a code or something, right? So now your dashboard is ready. Now to look this dashboard in a proper beautiful structure, now you need to leverage on these uh, tools or these language also. So now the expectation is endless. You need to know CCNA, CCNP, firewall, SDN, all those things. Along with that, Python might be Ansible. You need to know automation, how to automate your scripts, and then they might also ask you to build the dashboard. Now you will go into your the other side of the uh, stream as well. So it's all up to the expectation. If they expect everything, then I think you need to
Yeah,
spend time
yeah,
to learn
yeah,
everything. Okay.
yeah. I think. Yeah,
And
just we are like
yeah,
in general terms.
yeah. And one more thing. Now, as this dashboard keep growing, now you should also start knowing how to integrate to a database. You might need to take SQL or MongoDB. Okay,
Mhm.
so again, now you will move into another track of software engineering from network engineer, right?
Okay. Yeah, I was
So
just asking, like, do we know
yeah,
to this
no.
HTML?
Nowadays this is very frequently asked question. They'll ask you whether have you automated something. If you say yes, then they'll ask you which program. Let's say you say Python, then they'll ask you whether have you built some dashboard. Now you are stuck. If you say yes, then they'll ask you which program language, which computer language. If you say, let's say, HTML, CSS, now they can ask you like what is HTML ID so and so, what is CSS used for, what is Bootstrap doing here. So I mean, uh, if you want to bring up all your skill set, then you should know a little bit of things on all. But again, to start something on this automation, I would say that go with Python. Start building this script. Once you're fluent, once you're good with writing Python script, you know how the uh, for loop, if loop, etc., etc. Then you can go to the next step of building the dashboard, and then you can like learn HTML or Flask or some little bit on the database. Okay, so that's again, I mean, once the transition happened to that phase.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah. Got it. Thanks.
all right. So any question? Anyone? Any question? I see. Okay, there are people who are
Yeah. So this is the
asking.
this is the beginning path for the network development. Then.
Correct. This is your beginning path. You need to start from somewhere. So this is your beginning path. Okay. See, no one will ask you straightforward what is HTML, CSS, or Bootstrap or Flask until you will say that you have worked on Python automation and you build a dashboard. Okay. So it's like all interconnection.
But Sagar, just one thing. See, as network developments, which means that there is some router, or there is some any network device which has to be developed. So that should write from the source codes, right? Our embedded CC. So where it comes this HTML and CSS is, I don't understand this.
See, this HTML CSS comes when you start building dashboard. See, I'll show you.
APIs.
No, not that. I'll show you one second. See, when you start your automation path, as I told you, there is requirement of some ID software where you start writing, where you code, where you instruct your computer what to do, right? Like SSH or take a show IP in the brief, right? So these are written manually by you or someone who knows uh, Python as a programming. So I'll show you my script. So this is your first step where you start writing it all in a manual ways. See, something like this. You write your script, could be 10 lines, 20 lines, this one. Now everything is within this. Say for example, uh, in this script, I'm trying to take some Excel building using regex. Okay, I need to understand what is regex, how do you write it, how do you intend the whole script. Let's say I'm a senior network programmer or developer, but in my team there is a fresher. He doesn't know what to do on, let's say there is a change maintenance window and he's not sure what to do with the script. So my manager will come and ask me, instead of giving this to that guy, can you build a dashboard? So what happens, this code will be in the backend, and in the front end, that junior guy just have to type like 1.1.1 or some admin or Cisco, and then he'll click on run. The moment he click on run, it will come to this script. This will get run in the backend, and the whatever job is supposed to do, it will do that, and it will be showing in the front end part. So front end and back end, these are two different terminologies, right? So those HTML bootstrap, they will come in the front end part, and in your back end will be this Python.
Yeah, it's like hyper terminal creation of the links, right?
Something, yeah, you can think about that also. In basic, it's a front end and back end. Something,
Yeah,
let's say now this is straightforward. I can just run from here itself. Any script can be run directly from the uh, IDE, but everyone is not sound with the Python, right? They do not know on this. Might be if they do some mistake, the script will not run, right? So my manager will say create one dashboard so that they get only access to the dashboard. Let's say for example, your next generation firewalls, there was a CLI, but why was the front end or the dashboard was popular? Because that makes things simpler. Anyone can log into the dashboard, can see the options and do perform the task, right? When it comes to CLI, they need to remember the command, CLI command, right?
Hi, Sagar.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, like TCL script and EA script, can we run Python script in the locally in the device?
Yeah, there are some devices like Nexus devices, especially where Python is inbuilt. Okay, but like devices like Catalyst, iOS, and all, there is no inbuilt Python. We have to install Python on an external computer, and from that computer we will trigger the script. So
Okay,
when,
thank you.
yeah, there are some models like Nexus and all, ASR, Nexus, where Python is inbuilt. We can run any local EM script using Python inside that device itself. Okay. So any further doubt before I move further?
So sorry, what is the timing and how many days per week for this training? I'm just joining anyway today.
Okay, so those guys who joined just today, let me put it here. All right, I think my screen is not okay. So this is going to be Monday to Thursday, starting from today, and the batch hour is 10 p.m. IST to 11:30 p.m. IST. I know it's a weekdays, that's why we have kept only 1.5 hour. So this will be taken for like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 4 days a week. You have 3 days for your practice, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, so all your 4 days of scripts you can practice on these 3 days, and the next Monday you can have a doubt clearing session. Okay, so this is how this is pipelined.
Okay, thanks. Also, I chatted you with a request on ANSIBLE. Can you please look into it on WhatsApp and please?
Okay, so did you put in this Zoom chat?
No, on your WhatsApp. I private chat you on your WhatsApp.
Okay, I am actually not in front of WhatsApp.
Yeah, not now. It's after the meeting.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So one more thing, Sagar. So this is completely a 8 weeks training, right? Total 2 months means 8 weeks training.
Sorry, I missed you. Sorry, tell me. Pardon me.
So this is 8 weeks training, right? Meaning two months training.
Yes. The duration is 2 months.
2 months training.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, where can we get recorded videos for those that might not be able to make it?
Okay. Yeah. So recordings, we have some portals where we keep the recordings. So once you guys fill the Google form, our backend team will email all the respective details. Okay, so basically this is where the videos are stored. Okay, so here is where you will, but to log into this, you guys will be sent one email, and in that email all the video access and lab access, WhatsApp, Slack, and technical support email ID, everything will be mentioned. So how many have received email today?
Sagar, we are receiving multiple emails that we don't know which one we are replying also, but the WhatsApp, Slack, and that we are not sure about that.
The email with subject line welcome kit or starter kit.
Okay.
I have not received mail today.
Okay. It's already sent today, but I'll once again check, and I'll also update in the WhatsApp group. So check for the subject line like welcome kit. So that is the email which our backend might have sent you. So none of you guys received any email from our side? The enrolled people I'm talking about. Okay, yeah. So Sanchayan got it, right? Okay. So
yes, I got it. But when I was trying to open this Slack, they were saying that I don't have any workspace. So maybe I was not added to the group. Maybe I'm not sure. I never used Slack.
Yeah, we will fix that in the back end. Okay.
Okay.
So guys who answered no, you guys have to be enrolled. As I told you, there are people who are enrolled here. So they will receive an email. Other people have to contact our backend on the enrollment process. Okay. All right, let's proceed. If there is no further doubt, let's proceed with some basic thing. Okay, and I'll ask you to guys go through on those recording which is over on our web portal. Okay, so these all videos are present that we are gonna discuss now. So when you start learning with Python, we will start writing with the script. But we need to know some, basic fundamentals, very basic fundamentals, so that while we start writing, we know what's happening, what are we writing. So first thing you need to know is Python print, then Python comment, then you need to know the data structures. Okay, might be for loop, if loop, These are very frequently used one. Data structures are like the bread and butter here. That means the actual data. Okay. Now, when I say data, it could be, like your IP address. IP address is like, let's say 1.1.1. Now, this is one piece of information which I can say data. Or let's say I call a username. Let's say my username is admin. So this is another piece of data. Let's say password is Cisco. Now this is another piece of data, right? So how do you represent data in Python can be, so any issues with my audio? Abhishek, I think you check once your speaker. Okay. Okay, so in Python, basically, how do we represent data, or how do we push a data? How do we uh, store a data? That's been the important bread and butter. There are different ways here. You can store a data in a string format or a list format, or let's say numbers, tuples, set, dictionary. Okay. So in short, let's say you had only single piece of data. You had only one IP with you. Okay. Then you go with this option. Only one data at a time. List is when you had multiple IPs like 1.1.1.1, 2.2.2.2, 3.3.3.3, and whatever. Numbers are like, let's say, port number. So SSH port number is 22, right? So I say port number 22. Now this is a number. It's an integer. Tuples are again array of collection when you have multiple datas or multiple, let's say as an example, IPs. Set are also array of data, let's say 1.1.1, 2.2.2, 3.3.3. And dictionary is also array of data. Okay, but the way we write is in a different format. We have the key value mapping. Okay, I can say that IP1 1.1.1.1, IP2 2.2.2.2, IP3 3.3.3, and so on. The representation is different. Okay, the list, tuples, set, dictionary, they are arrays. Arrays in the sense collections of multi data. Why we use the different type of array? There could be different reasons. One could be indexable, other could be like non-duplicates allowed. The other one could be, let's say, the non-indexable. So there are some properties here. Indexable and duplicate allowed, whether they can be sorted. Okay, so on basis of some properties or some attributes, dictionary is different, then list is different, then tuples are different, and then sets are different. Okay, so what are the different properties? We will see tomorrow. We will see how this are different than each other. So for today, what you do, you go to Python website, download this, download Python 3.10.2, go to JetBrains PyCharm, download PyCharm, and there is an option community version, which is a free version. Download it, and then you will see something of this sort. Okay, now this is a PyCharm. This is PyCharm version, and as I was telling, it's been reference to my computer programming. Okay, How does this does? Basically, it will scan your computer. If you go to settings, you can see that under this tab, under the project, it's gonna look for the interpreter, which interpreter you have. Let's say if you click on show all, and if you had Java or you had C or C++, you can just go and open up the new environment. You can just select that. You can say that I'm gonna use Java or C++ or whatever. But as you all know, we will use Python. So wherever I installed Python from step number one, okay, from step number one, I'll just go and say, here is my folder where I installed Python. Okay, see like this. So I have installed Python over somewhere on the default directory. So it is gonna take that. Okay, and then it's gonna show me here on the bottom side saying that this is my computer language. Okay, so this is the language that I would be using as the base, and then whatever code I write, that will be over on Python. Okay, and over here in this script, I'll mention my IP, username, etc., and everything in a proper structure, whether it's a string, it's a dictionary, it's a list, or whatever. It will be written in a proper structure. And then we have the play button. As I was telling, the user will hit the play button and the program will instruct the computer what to do next, which device to take SSH, what is the username password to be put up, what to be fetched, what to be shown up, and at what point the scripts needs to be terminated. Okay, everything will be automated. We don't log in manually to any CLI box. My job is to just see the terminal if there was any issue at any point. Let's say some device is down, then yes, your script is gonna throw an error saying that this device is down, and uh, you need to note down it. Okay, so this is where the result appears. If you see if you see this whole console, here is where your scripts are put up. These are like my history of script which I have written in the class. Okay, those scripts which are open will be shown in the tab format. Okay, you can open up n number of tabs. This is where you will write your program. This is where the result is shown. Okay, if it is a successful, then it will give you the code 0. If it is unsuccessful, then might be you receive a code of -1 or something. Okay, so this shows you output. Let's say if you wanted to collect show IP int brief, so you will see the output on this terminal. Okay, these are some more navigational tabs. These are where you will see some more information on the lines and etc. This is the programming language. These are some tabs to run the program, execute the program. At the top, you have the main navigational like file, save, setting, all other things, etc. Okay, so here, if you go here on code, you can see options like, see for example, I want to comment. I will go here, I'll click on this. See, these are grayed out. So once you gray out some line, they are basically non-actionable. They are just meant to keep as a label, not to do something. Okay. Similar way, if you go to run, you can see options like run or debug. If you want to upload the script onto GitHub, you don't need to do manual copy paste. If you have an account here, and if you know how the Git operation work, you can just click on the push method. Okay, you can just go and sign in first. Once you sign in, then you can just push this. Once you push it, see all these reddish in color, these are basically the one which needs to be pushed. and which is red in color, which is basically pushed in my GitHub. Guys who doesn't know GitHub, it's like a centralized library. If I share my code onto my GitHub account, you guys can take it publicly. It's a internet facing. There are two versions that you can set it. If you don't want to give it with public, you can set your account to be private. If you want your codes to be given, you can make a public facing. Okay. If I keep my script public facing, all can take it from here. It's like a central library, central online library, specially used by software engineers. That is why you might not have heard about GitHub, because we from network side we never use GitHub. This is very popular tools uh, in software engineering line. Those people who are writing 100 lines of code, and if they want to give it with their colleague or might be with their senior developer, they will first upload to GitHub, and then the links will be given, and they can download it. Or when we go to the DevNet topic, we will see some Git operations. That means if let's say this is you, okay, and your senior developer is here, you will upload the code to the centralized library, and he will automatically download it on his local machine, and he can upgrade, he can modify, and then he can put it back to the centralized library, and then this engineer can see the current version with the updated version. And then basically a lot of things can happen over here, like version control. If there are a lot of people working on single code, might be this guy has worked something and he goes on vacation, right? So he can upload it with some version, and the second engineer who comes on the second day, he will resume working, and then it will be put up with different version. Okay, these version will be compiled, and then a master version will be created, which is ready to be pushed to the parent directly, or the main directory. So a lot of things when you will see when you get into programming or software side. Okay, these are all terms that software engineers use, which now as a network engineer you guys have to learn. All right, we have 5 to 10 minutes. If you guys have any doubt, you guys can ask me any doubts or any question, or how do you enroll, or if anything, you can let me know. Otherwise, we are good with winding this session. So this would be the timing. 10 p.m. we will start sharp, and 11:30 we will wind up sharp. Okay. So no extending, no.
Hi, Sagar, will we be learning GitHub also in this module?
Yes, we have GitHub and the Git operations, and how do you sync PyCharm with GitHub. See, these all topics will be covered.
Okay.
Hey, Sagar, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I have 3 questions. Number one is Cisco DevNet included in this program?
Yeah, we have Cisco DevNet Associate 200901 included.
Okay, and other question is, I wouldn't be able to attend if I sign up on Mondays and Wednesdays. I would be able to attend on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So will I be missing a lot? Because half the time I would not be able to attend, and maybe I will have to rely on the video recordings.
Yeah, if you go through video recording, then you will not miss a lot. But if you don't watch, then yes, might be gap of one class also get a lot of gap in the understandings. But if you go with the recording, then you can catch up.
Okay, and today is the second day of this class, correct?
No, today is the first class. We had one just a general free webinar conducted last 7 days back. So today is officially the first day.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. All right, anyone else? So guys who have enrolled, you guys once check your mailbox. There was a mail sent today evening. But if you have not received, we will put some screenshot to guide you with what subject line those emails were sent. Okay. All right. Okay. Abhishek. Yes. Go ahead,
Sagar,
Abhishek.
can I ask you one more question?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Are you teaching any other classes other than Python, like CCNP?
See, we have one CCNP batch started today itself by Mr. Sham. Okay, so he's taking up a CCNP module with SD-WAN combined.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have attended that
Yeah.
the trial session. Any other classes are you teaching apart from DevNet? I mean, apart from
Yeah, I have also started one of the firewall mastery batch of 5-in-1 combo.
okay.
So we had some 2 classes conducted last weekend.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. I'll contact you via WhatsApp once I decide.
Yeah, sure.
And tomorrow's session, will it be open or I have to sign up for that? I just want a couple of classes. I want to get to, into it for a few more classes, and then can I decide how many?
Yeah. I mean, that's all decided by backend. I think might be the backend has decided to keep it logged, but we will announce it. Okay, I mean, we will announce it in advance or whatever they are planning with.
Yeah, tomorrow I may not be, but I would like to attend Thursdays, and then I can sign up. Once if it gets
Yeah,
into.
you contact our backend and they will guide you with the next process. Okay.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
Sagar, what is this Slack common group?
Okay, so see, Slack is one such platform where sharing code becomes very easy for us. Say, for example, when you write a lot of code, okay, there are a lot of indentation. The space that we have keep here, these are called indentation. There is a chances when you copy this to a WhatsApp or some notepad, they lose its property. That's why we use Slack as a messenger tool where the properties are not losing its indentation or it remains however you like copy paste exactly. You can take it back and run on your screen as well. So that's why we use Slack, which is more for code sharing and the file sharing, etc. Okay, for more technical things.
Is this kind of any website URL or is it any application?
These people have 2 versions. One is web based and a client also. You can download a client and you can use like the WhatsApp or Telegram. Okay, or if you don't want to download, then like if you see my screen, I'm using the web based. Okay, see, if I share a script, it would look something like this with its real properties, and I can just take this copy and I can check on my screen if things are good or miss something.
Okay. Okay, I've got a mail from the I think evening saying that they registered my mobile number in the Slack common group, but how do I check it? I don't see any links or
Okay,
something.
we will guide that. I think the Slack part will be done. So once the Slack part is done, there will be an automated mail to your mailbox. We will guide you that. Okay. So in
Okay.
tomorrow's class, I'll guide you how to register to Slack.
Yeah.
Hi, Sagar.
Yeah. Hi.
Any weekend bench you are planning to start maybe next month or after finishing this bench?
Yes, we have a request coming for weekend as well. So Feb mid we are planning to start one batch.
Okay, fine. Okay. So I will be in the touch with the WhatsApp number only, right? The same.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So, Sagar, will you be having the weekend batch starting a little bit early? Because at your time, if you start like say around evening, let's say 6 o'clock, that would really work for us.
See, weekend I might keep the 8 a.m. IST. I don't keep in the at the time what I'm running these classes today, because on weekend I have some other batches overlapping. So the automation batch would be on the morning 8 a.m. IST. That would be for CST 8:30 p.m. Okay, so I
Oh,
usually have 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., which is like 9:30. Okay, so I might thinking to keep it 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., which is 3 hours of boot camp, which goes for 1.5 to 2 months.
Sorry, I missed that part. Is this weekend badge, right?
This is weekdays batch. The one which we are taking right now is a weekdays batch.
No, the one you are talking about.
That's the next batch which we would launch in the month of Feb.
Okay, that will be weekend batch, right? That,
Yes.
And that's 8 a.m. IST, right?
Yes.
Because that would be a perfect time for me.
Okay.
Yeah, because currently I'm working as I'm attending the training, so.
Yeah, so those who guys face issue with the current batch, you guys can take this batch, okay, which will start from Feb mid.
From February.
Yes. All right, guys. So if there is any doubt, you can just drop your concern to the email ID or the WhatsApp link which is given. I hope the session was informative, and let's catch up in the next class. Okay. Have a nice day, everyone.
sure. Yeah. Thank you, Sagar. It was a very informative session. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you, everyone.
Sorry.